Hey. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Come and save me. I've been missing lady. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're tuned in because today we're doing something brand new. Technically everything on this channel is brand new because I started it like a month ago. Something I love doing is DIYs from home. If you are someone that is interested in going more non-toxic with your beauty or skincare or anything along those lines, DIYs are a great place to start. The recipe I'm sharing with you all today is coveted among many of my friends. They swear by it, I swear by it, and it's something I really don't think you would expect to be as revolutionary as it is. But today we are going to be making my all-natural DIY delicious smelling dry shampoo in a jar. Sounds crazy, it works even crazier. So as you can see, I have about 1 spoonful left and I already needed to refill this boy, and I was like, why not show you guys how to make it as well, because this has changed my hair routine and has changed the way I look at how much I even have to wash my hair. This works better than any dry shampoo I have ever bought at a store, ever bought in a can, and it's so cheap to make at home. All you're going to need today to make your homemade DIY dry shampoo is some arrowroot powder. You also can use cornstarch or baking powder, but arrowroot powder is definitely the most all-natural and you can easily find it at a Whole Foods or organic market. Unsweetened cocoa powder, mine is from Trader Joe's. As long as you make sure there's not a bunch of added sugar in it, you don't want to walk around smelling like a cupcake. And then your favorite essential oils to top it off. For my dry shampoo, I love to use lavender and tea tree. They're gonna be really refreshing to your skin, really regenerative to your scalp. So today we will be making this DIY dry shampoo, but first I do wanna talk to you a little bit about why dry shampoo is so bad for you and why you should really make the switch to making it homemade. So a common misconception about hair growth is that your hair actually grows from the ends, when that is not true. Your hair grows from your scalp. So your scalp health should be your #1 priority when it comes to growing out your hair or making sure that your hair is glossy and natural the way that you want it to be. I personally have always had really dry and frizzy hair that has been problematic and flaky and frizzy, and so I'm starting to use products now that are actually going to be supporting my scalp to put moisture back into my skin. If you are someone who has oily hair, you actually might not have oily hair. You might just be using some very harmful products with things like phthalates and parabens that are causing your scalp to be stripped from oil, causing it to create more oil, making your hair look oilier than it actually is. If you are struggling with excessively oily hair that you don't know what to do with, my first recommendation is to start looking for a shampoo without any phthalates or parabens. Start using that and seeing if your oil starts to decrease a little bit, but also this dry shampoo would be a great thing to help in the meantime. So when you think about your scalp, I want you to kind of think about your face, how you treat your face, how you moisturize, exfoliate, cleanse. So when thinking about dry shampoo, it's important to remember that dry shampoo is not actually cleansing your hair. All it is doing is soaking up any excess oil. So imagine if instead of washing your face at the end of every day, you just took those oil cleansing wipes and wiped it down. You're really just kind of masking a problem. You're not deeply cleansing it. So the word dry shampoo isn't necessarily accurate because you're not actually cleaning your hair. And if you are to continue to use dry shampoo instead of actually washing your hair, you will start to get clogged hair follicles, which could lead to infected hair follicles, which if you think about it like your face, is a lot like acne building up in your pores and causing an infection. You also can start to notice residue buildup if you use too much dry shampoo. Rather than your hair looking refreshed, you're actually gonna notice a lot more product buildup and see like a buildup of the white and the powdery stuff. It's all gonna clog the top of your pores. That pore buildup on your head can also lead to excess itching, irritation, and redness on your scalp. So if you're someone that thinks you just have a really itchy scalp, you might actually be overusing your dry shampoo. Toxic dry shampoos that you can get from the store also can be extremely hard to wash off and get completely out of your hair. And sometimes the only way to get those hard products out of your hair is to use harsher shampoos and cleansers, which can actually lead to over cleansing of the scalp, stripping too many good oils out of your hair and leading to excess itchiness and flaky skin. Also, if we take a second to look at the ingredients in dry shampoo, one of the main ones you'll see is talc. Talc is actually also used in a lot of powder cosmetics like foundation or baby powder, when actually inhaling cosmetic talc can be extremely damaging to your respiratory tract. And if that's not enough, here's one that really threw me for a loop while I was researching this. Phenoxyethanol is an extremely toxic gas that is included in a lot of cosmetic products, including your aerosol dry shampoo. It is used as an antibacterial or stabilizer to any additional fragrances put into the product. Phenoxyethanol is not only harmful to the skin and and lungs, but also to your central nervous system, liver, and brain. Long-term exposure to phenoxyethanol can actually cause nerve and organ failure. And the toxic ways that you can ingest phenoxyethanol are through the skin and through your lungs, which all happens while you're applying your dry shampoo. On top of that, lots of dry shampoos that you can get from the store offer different fragrances that you can buy. For example, lavender, tropical, fresh. A scary thing about those fragrances is that a lot of the times those are chemicals put in there to smell that way. And guess what? Most chemical fragrances normally contain phthalates, which are linked to cancer. The only reason phthalates are even put there in the first place is just to make the scent last longer. That's it. But phthalates, or fragrance, are also known cancer-causing agents and endocrine disruptors, which means it will not only affect your mood, your metabolism, your sleep, but also your reproductive systems. Isn't that the best? The worst part is these companies are allowed to slap the term fragrance on all of their products, and fragrance actually can be a mask term for thousands of toxic chemicals that these companies are putting in their products that they are not required to tell you about by the FDA. So I think it's really important that you take control of what you are consuming and putting on your body, and this homemade dry shampoo is a great way to start replacing that toxic stuff for just good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started making our dry shampoo. Here at this channel, we are all about reduce, reuse, recycle. This is an old peanut butter jar that I just happened to turn into my dry shampoo jar. First, I'm going to add about 10 tablespoons of arrowroot powder to my jar. The one box of arrowroot powder that I bought has actually made me about 2 jars of dry shampoo, so for the price you're getting, it's totally affordable. If you cannot find arrowroot powder, you can use baking powder or cornstarch. Next, I'm gonna add 2 to 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, depending on how brunette you want your dry shampoo to be. And yes, you will smell like chocolate when you sweat or when you go to the gym, but at least you won't smell like sweat, or your day 5 hair if you're anything like me. Next, we're gonna add about 5 drops each of lavender and tea tree. Tea tree is also a great oil to use on your scalp in general and is used in a lot of anti-dandruff shampoos. Then all you gotta do is put your top on your jar and shake well. You guys remember shake weights? I think my aunt had one of those. Now that I've mixed it up a little bit, I can notice that it's still a little white, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more cocoa powder. Right here is about where I like my dry shampoo to be. You can make it darker or lighter, whatever you need. Wow, that made me feel so YouTube-y. Here's my dry shampoo. When it comes to applying the dry shampoo, I know some of you guys are like, Rachel, that is a powder in a jar. How the heck am I gonna get that on my head? Depending on how much dry shampoo you need, you can either apply it with a spoon or with an old blush or kabuki brush, whatever you have around the house. I personally like to use the spoon on the front of my head and the brush on my lower parts of my hair and the back of my head. I use a ½ teaspoon measuring spoon, and I will apply it on my roots, shake it on, and then I just like to use my fingers to rub it in. So if I'm gonna use the brush, I will part my hair where I'm ready to apply it. I'll stick my brush down in the dry shampoo, tap it off just like you would a foundation brush, and apply it to my roots. After I've applied the dry shampoo all over my head, I just like to run my fingers through it. The best thing I've noticed about this dry shampoo is that it gives you so much volume, especially if you brush through your hair after you've applied it. But as you can tell, I think even from just then, me applying it has given me so much more volume at the root. And I just keep my little spoon down in here until next time. And then of course, anything you get on your desk, you can just pat on top. Not even just like... And I'm just gonna do the math for fun to see how much 1 jar of dry shampoo made from home is gonna cost in comparison to something from the store. I made my last batch at the beginning of February and it is now June 10th and it's lasted me that long. So from what I've looked at online, it looks like the average jar of arrowroot powder that you can buy is gonna be around $10. Like I said, 1 box of arrowroot powder lasted me about 2 jars of dry shampoo. And for the cocoa powder, you really only need about 3 tablespoons for this whole jar. The serving size for cocoa powder is 1 tablespoon and there are 51 servings in your average size container. So it looks like 1 thing of cocoa powder would actually make you about 17 jars of dry shampoo. It's gonna come out to about 30 cents of what you bought out your cocoa powder for is going to be going into your bottle of dry shampoo, and about $5 of your arrowroot is going to be going into your dry shampoo. So for about $5.30, you're going to be getting about 4 months of dry shampoo out of it. I also used to be a dry shampoo from the store addict, and I would go through cans and cans and cans of Dove dry shampoo, especially college, because we all know back then none of us were washing our hair. So let's see what the old dry shampoo I was buying runs at. I used to use the Dove Beauty Refresh and Care. It's $5 and it would normally last me about 3 weeks. Basically the exact same cost for 4 months of non-toxic, all-natural dry shampoo versus the same $5 for a bottle of toxic, harmful to your body dry shampoo that's only gonna last you about 4 weeks. And that is how I make my non-toxic DIY all-natural dry shampoo. I love this product. It has been one of the best recipes I have found in my non-toxic journey, and I hope that you guys feel empowered to go make some for yourself and see that using cocoa powder and baking powder or arrowroot powder on your hair is totally normal and actually looks really great in my opinion. I'm so excited to share more DIYs with you all in the future. I've got lots of plans to make even more videos talking about some of my favorite non-toxic switches that I've been able to make from the comfort of my own home. Actually a lot cheaper than I would be buying products anyways. If you guys do try out your dry shampoo, make sure that you @ me on Instagram so I can see you using it, or comment below so that I can go stalk you and see how good it looks on your hair. As always, make sure that you like and subscribe and click that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when I'm putting out new videos. And for now, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey guys, I don't know where Rachel went. I've been sitting here in the studio waiting on her to come and I can't find her. So this is how I like to use my dry shampoo. I take it, my whole body is hair, so I take it and I put it on my head like this. Hey Nathan?